Hi students, welcome to HSC Earth and Environmental Science and Module 8, Resource Management. This is video number 19 and we're going to have a look at habitat destruction. We've previously looked at two human activities that affect sustainability, overharvesting and water pollution. And in this little mini-series, we're going to focus our attention on habitat removal or destruction. Habitat destruction is the process by which natural habitat becomes incapable of supporting its native species. During this process, the organisms that previously used the site are displaced, sometimes even destroyed. And of course, this is going to have a big impact on biodiversity. Habitat destruction by human activity is mainly for the purpose of harvesting natural resources for industrial production or urbanization. The clearing of land for agriculture is the principal cause of habitat destruction. Other important causes of habitat destruction could include mining, logging, trawling, and urban sprawl. Habitat destruction is currently ranked as the primary cause of species extinction worldwide. It's a process of natural environmental change that may be caused by habitat fragmentation, geological processes, climate change, or by human activities such as the introduction of invasive species, ecosystem nutrient depletion, and other human activities. I've chosen koalas deliberately because they're a local species that is significantly impacted by habitat destruction. They're also a high-profile species and they continue to be threatened not just in the Port Stephens region, but also in many other places by habitat destruction. They have a very specified diet and lifestyle, and this makes them particularly vulnerable. Most habitat destruction in Australia takes the form of tree clearing and deforestation for livestock. The National Heritage Trust has tried to implement forest regrowth to try and offset the land clearing in Australia. There are several authors who have a lot to say about sustainability and the types of activities that humans are involved in and their impact on our native landscape. One such author is Richard Dawkins. There's an interesting quote that comes out of his Science in the Soul book. The very fact that Darwinism is true makes it even more important for us to fight against the naturally selfish and explorative tendencies of nature. We can do it. Probably no other species of animal or plant can. We can do it because our brains, admittedly given to us by natural selection for reasons of short-term Darwinism gain, are big enough to see into the future and plot long-term consequences. In natural selection, there's no natural foresight, no mechanism for warning that present selfish gains are leading to species extinction. And indeed, 99% of all species that have ever lived are extinct. The human brain, probably uniquely in the whole of evolutionary history, can see across the valley and can plot a course away from extinction and towards distant uplands. Long-term planning, and hence the very possibility of stewardship, is something utterly new on the planet, even alien. It exists only in human brains. The future is a new invention in evolution. It is precious and fragile. We must all use our scientific artifice to protect it. It may sound paradoxical, but if we want to sustain the planet into the future, the first thing we must do is stop taking advice from nature. Nature is a short-term Darwinian profiteer. Darwin himself said it. What a book a devil's chaplain might write on the clumsy, wasteful, blundering, low, and horribly cruel works of nature. Habitat destruction, of course, is not confined to terrestrial organisms. We've also managed to destroy a number of habitats in marine ecosystems as well. In marine ecosystems, most habitat destruction occurs in coastal areas, including estuaries, swamps, marshes, and wetlands. These areas serve as breeding grounds for a significant portion of marine animals. Destructive fishing techniques like bottom trawling, dynamiting, and poisoning destroy habitats near shore as well as in the deeper sea. Tourism brings millions of boaters, snorkelers, and scuba divers into direct contact with fragile wetlands and reef ecosystems. Container ships and tankers can damage habitat with their hulls and anchors, and spills of crude oil and other substances kill thousands of birds and fish and leave a toxic environment that can persist for years. The wetlands are dredged and filled in to accommodate urban, industrial and agricultural development. Cities, factories and farms create waste, pollution and chemical effluent and runoff that can wreak havoc on reefs, seagrasses, birds and fish. Inland dams decrease natural nutrient-rich runoff cut off fish migration routes, and curb freshwater flow, increasing the salinity of coastal waters. Deforestation far from shore creates erosion, sending silt into shallow waters that can block the sunlight coral reefs need to thrive. The construction of dams has changed a lot of habitats by creating increased aquatic environments upstream from the dam and reducing the aquatic environments downstream. Unpredictable extreme weather patterns can exacerbate situations that have already been changed by the construction of human dams. Avoiding unsustainable activities such as over-harvesting, water pollution, and habitat destruction, as well as reducing the impact of climate change and mining practices, are probably the most ways to ensure sustainable Earth's resources for future generations. These are all based on human activities: over-harvesting of natural resources, water pollution in its many forms, solid and liquid, and habitat destruction, the removal of either native species or of the homes in which native species are occupying. In our final section on resource management, we're going to have a little bit of a look at the relationship between humans and country. We're going to see if there's some ways that we can learn how to better protect the country on which we live. Thanks for watching.